battery box is pretty rusted up, so I'm going to pull it off, do a little cleaning. I already took the chisel around the bolt heads and clean them off, and I fought with the breaker bar, and it didn't come off, so I'm going to run the air gun on it and see what I can get here. Alright, before I get too far and getting myself going here, I figured I'd do a video to show you how bad it is, but I was able to get the battery box off, and this is what's left. I'd already started to suck it up. All that was now in the shop vac. But I got my panel moved back here. I'm going to take off this hydraulic line because it's bent and it's also got a hole in it. Got a new line coming. Got another bypass block on the outside. Or not bypass, check valve block on the outside. I don't know where I showed new switches, but I got all new switches in this. Still have to put my new voltage regulator on yet, but the radiator's off. I didn't fix the starter yet. I got it taken apart, but I haven't gotten around ordering a new drive for it yet. But that's what was left of the battery box. And that's what I busted my hand up on. I just ended up taking the torch to it last night and came right out, so. But all this is going to get shot back clean by the end of the night here. And this is what the battery box looks like. So I'm going to fire up the MIG welder after a while. I'm going to reconstruct this battery box, or at least attempt to. We'll see how good I am at reconstruction. But I got a new check valve block because I would have tried to use this one, but it's got all kinds of flake and stuff in the bolt holes. And even the check valve on the inside looks like it's pretty well shot. It's going to be rusted. This O-ring groove, it's pretty well toast. I figured I might be able to take a lot of time and tack that back up, take it down to work, machine the O-ring groove back out, but I figured that's probably too much work. I would just get good check valve and I'll know it's good and won't have to mess with it. I've already got enough time invested in this thing for now. Radiator bolts are a pain in the butt to get out. Them suckers were so tight. Got a new fan blade coming since mine looks like an airplane propeller. I did manage to find a tack drive generator for it, so I have a tack drive generator. And of course, while I was taking the dash apart, I laid the tack on the platform and I must have bumped it or something like that, and off the platform it rolled and on the floor. So I went from probably having a working tack before to a tack that doesn't work now. And yes, I'm kicking myself for it. Glass is broke, the needle's broke. But I was going to have this rebuilt anyway, but I guess I have even more reason to do it now. What I'll probably end up doing is just buying a cheap $50 tachometer for now, until I get enough money to get that other one rebuilt, but at least have something. This is what the steering gear looked like when it was taken apart. Somebody had grease in it, but it's been a while since it's been greased. The grease is pretty well dried up. New fuel filter on it, new fuel lines. And I think that's about it for now, so I'll clean her up and show you what it looks like when it's all cleaned up. Alrighty, got everything vacuumed here. It's a little cleaner than it was before. And the battery box, this is what's left of it here. Got one there in that corner, one there in that corner. I'll have to work on reconstructing them when I work on the battery box, I guess. You can tell definitely where the battery box was. I kind of toasted my battery cable a little bit when I torched out that bolt last night, but it looks like it was repaired already right there. It's got a bunch of electrical tape around it, so all this stuff cleaned up pretty good. Up around my hydraulic valves, that all cleaned up pretty good. So I'm going to take off those hydraulic lines next, so I'm going to get to working on that. Figure I might as well drain the oil out of the TA tonight before I go home. And that's what the oil looks like right now. Can't quite tell, but that's water coming out right now. And I know I must apologize for the light being a little bad, kind of under the tractor here, but so I can shake it up a little bit here. I don't know if you can see or not, but about half of this is water. Spin it around, I'll show you the sludge that came out of it. It was pretty green and chunky coming out of the plug. So the gear oil looked good when it came out, but it was really thin, so I don't know what weight was in it before, but it was really light oil. Looked good, but had water in it, so I said heck with it. I'm just gonna drain it. It was leaking, so I'm gonna put new gaskets on it, and I'll put new oil in it, and I'll be done with that. So that's that. This is coming from the back plate, the bigger plate. Pulled it down a little bit with the screwdriver, and this is what's coming out. Draining oil in the hydraulic pump. That's water, and that's supposed to be oil. I think if we added a couple thin slices of chipped beef to it, look like something we could put over some biscuits, don't you think? See if I can get this opened up a little more here. Whoop, starting to turn brown a little bit. Must be getting a little oil out of it now. Trying to do this without getting any of that crap on my fingers. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to take all the bolts out here. Ah, shoot. Now I'm getting crap everywhere. It's going everywhere I don't want it to go. I should probably block that up so it doesn't. It's making a mess of everything. Once again, I'm glad I did not try to start this, because all of this stuff, well, this would be trying to go through a hydraulic pump, and yeah. Trying to think what this reminds me of other than creamed beef. put over a sausage or yeah, over a biscuit or something like that. Not good stuff. I'm gonna have a little bit of time, I guess, flushing this out, making sure all this crap's out of there. I think I finally figured out why I got a spoon with the tractor, because that's about the only way to get this stuff out. Getting ready to quit for the night, but before I do, I got one plate already on and this last one to go on. And considering what the hydraulic oil looked like, I figured it was probably best just to pull the whole doggone hydraulic system and flush everything out. And I was right, because even up here at the pump, it's nice and tan. So that means probably everything in this system is contaminated. So I'm just going to take the whole hydraulic system off and start from scratch. Didn't want to, but that's what's going to happen. So. And I definitely need to get these TA plates back on, because there's been a little gear oil that's been leaking out, even though I took and cleaned everything out. So, oh well. Alright, you're probably looking at this and thinking, that is a mess. And I would agree with you. This is going to be the last video of this segment here. And since a lot happened this weekend, I showed you the oil in the hydraulic pump, and the whole hydraulic system was filled with that. I gotta pull that off yet, but I figured about the best way to do that is just to pull the whole pump unit off and clean it out separate. That way I can get it flushed out good, make sure every single valve's flushed out, because I don't want to have to drain the fluid again, put all new fluid in. I want to make sure it's right the first time. So I just pulled the whole unit off. And I tell you that if you have and can use or get a lift to lift that sucker off, I will tell you that that thing is heavy. Because I pulled it off myself and I'm like, oh boy, that thing is a little heavier than I thought it was. Drained all the diesel fuel out of my tank again, pulled the whole steering off, the front hydraulic lines are all off, the line from the pump back to the hydraulic control unit's off. And since I got water out of the rear end, I thought, well, since the hydraulic pump's off, I might as well pull the belt pulley and get it loosened up, because this thing I can't even, I guess I can turn a little bit, not much. This thing doesn't, that's a little more I can turn the belt pulley. So I can get that freed up, take it apart, free it up, and while I got it taken apart this far, I might as well just pull the top of the platform here and check out the tranny, bearings and everything else like that. That way I can seal it up and make sure it's not going to get any more water in it, because all this stuff up here is open and I don't know what the gasket's like. So take this opportunity and strip her down, I guess. I'm going to have to unhook all my wires here, and since I'm already this deep in it, I might as well just rewire everything. And that way when I put my new voltage regulator on, I'll have all new wiring in it. I'll get some nice, I actually have some plastic put around wires, make everything look a little nicer. But hopefully this week I'll get the toolbox pulled, belt pulley pulled to get all my wires undone. I'm going to label everything so I can just put it back together and then rewire one wire at a time. And tear the transmission off and top and see what we get. So, and I actually cleaned things up a little bit. I don't know where you noticed before, all this stuff was kind of cluttered right here before, but I picked up a free desk, which is now my workbench, and Makes it a lot nicer for keeping tools on and stuff so they're not scattered all over the floor. Still didn't get the radiator or the starter fixed, but right now I don't need those, so I'm not too worried about them. And just a side note, I bought a pair of rear wheel weights for the Super MD for $100. Got them off Craigslist, so not a bad deal on those. But here's where she stands right now. Thanks for watching.